Hey.
Hey y'all!
Hey everybody. My name is Alex of the Houndstrings podcast.
I'm Jessie of the Army Wife Knitting Life podcast.
And we're going to be doing a joint episode. It's going to be a long episode.
So grab a drink or two. Non-alcoholic.
Please.
Friends don't let friends knit under influence.
It leads to disaster.
And heartbreak. And frogging.
And we don't want that. But grab a nice beverage. Grab something to work on. And we'll get started.
We got some yarn to show.
Oh boy, do we. Joint podcast. I'm Alex from Houndstrings and
I'm Jessie from Army Wife Knitting Life podcast.
And welcome to the show. We are so happy to finally do this together. This has been a lot of planning and trying to get right and coordinating, and
it's a lot of work. From Germany.
Yeah.
And time zone differences of texting and planning.
And that's why we're doing it here now, just in time for the holiday season.
So Merry Christmas, or Feliz de Weihnachten.
Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad. I don't know what else.
Joy Noel. Ay, Dios mío. We're fun.
We are. We get crazy. We are not cutting anything out, you guys. This is the real us. Normally, if you see my podcast, I'm a little bit more subdued. I bring out the bad in her. She really does. And I can't believe we're here together at long last.
I know. It's been 2 years since we've seen each other. Last time was Christmas 2016.
And that was the first time I got to meet her wonderful hubby.
Yes, and he flies in from Nuremberg tomorrow afternoon.
Nice.
Which, of course, we're going to get there right after the perfect lunchtime. So 10 guesses on when we're going to eat.
I can guess it in one. LNDOs.
Ding, ding, ding!
So, for those not local to San Diego, or have been to San Diego but never heard of this amazing restaurant, El Indio is a Mexican place in kind of the downtown area, pretty close to the airport, so it's nice and convenient. They have amazing Mexican food, and if you ever want to know how legitimate it is, it was featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. So just Google that, and you'll find it.
They make their own tortillas, and Eric's favorite is their mortaditas, which is taquitos smothered in cheese and jalapenos.
Ooh, yum.
It's my mother's favorite too.
I always like the chimichangas or flautas, the taquitos. Those are really good. Another, speaking of food, another wonderful Mexican restaurant. I love Mexican food. Go to California, Southern California especially. The closer to the border you are, the better quality and generally the more authentic it is. Even if it is a little bit more Tex-Mex, Americanized.
Yeah.
Another awesome place is Lourdes. They're local to Escondido, and they're known for their chicken soup.
I love good chicken soup.
And then, tell them what we're doing.
We are going on a yarn crawl, and we are going to a tea room.
We are going to have afternoon tea at the Aubrey Rose in La Mesa, and they are fantastic. Their menu is kind of a prefix, so it comes on little trays. Linus, my dog, for those of you who aren't familiar. Oh, fine. I'll let her go. Thanks. And he's Gonna go pout. He's my
Come
big
on,
old 10
Riley.
years.
Good
Come on, bud.
girl.
Come here. Even if you don't see him, you'll definitely you'll hear him. There we go. Got the lighting to fix itself. You'll at least hear him, and we'll show you at the end. Don't worry.
He's a good boy.
He is, and you actually got to meet him when he was an itty bitty pupper.
I was there the day he came home. I
3
got
months
to meet him.
old, tiny little guy. I spent the first night in the laundry room with him because he was crying. He missed his siblings, and it was like Lady and the Tramp that first night. The first night Lady came home. So
It was precious. Shall we show some yarn?
yes, so let's get into the crafty, fun side of things,
Yay.
and we'll start with some of our works.
Okay.
Works in progress.
All right. All of mine are in one bag because traveling.
I've got 2 separate bags for mine. One is my stay at home, and the other is my on the go. So,
Okay. I have 4 whips in total. So, do you want me to do 2 and then you can show yours and I'll do my other 2?
sounds good.
Okay. First off, there's going to be yarn tangles because one bag.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I started the sock yesterday. And it is yarn jar in their old Christmas time color.
I love that.
With sparkles because
Oh, your progress keepers are so cute.
yes. I have this small Santa one right here. It came attached to the ball. And then this is a gingerbread man from Simply Serving HK.
I thought that was going to be Simply Serving. They're so cute. I need to get more stitch markers. By the way, you probably hear Linus whining. He thinks we're going to do something and leave him alone. Linus, we're staying here. We're okay.
For now.
For now. And
Then I have this one. I finished one already, and I started the toe for the second sock.
oh, that's pretty. Oh, I love that.
This is Christmas Merriment, also from yarn shop.
Aptly named. I love that. And it even has that minty green.
It does, and this is what the first sock looks like, so you can see all the colors.
It's pretty. And we'll post other pictures with better lighting. Because right now my computer does not want to keep suggesting the lighting automatically. I don't know how to get it to stop. I'll figure that out eventually. We'll get there.
Oh, in good time.
So the first of my 2 whips, this is my on-the-go project. For those of you who've seen mine,
Oh,
This
so
is-
pretty in person.
you've seen that before. This is the Luella top. And again, the lighting is absolute crap, at least right now. We'll post a better picture.
So beautiful, you guys.
And the yarn is Ba La Jolla,
La Jolla,
named after the town in San Diego.
California.
And I've lived in San Diego all my life. I don't plan on leaving. At least not for extended, or not for, except for extended short periods of time. If that makes any sense at all.
Well, because, I mean, you were in San Luis Obispo for a
I
while.
was. I love San Luis Obispo. And that's where I went to college, Cal Poly, animal science major, class of 2015. And, well, I was originally supposed to be 2014, but I extended a couple of quarters, and there you go. But this is the yarn all caked up. You can kind of see it really is. And the colorway is called Market Flowers, exclusive to a shop in Seattle. And it's named for the flowers on Pike Place Market. And as far as my progress, I finished the yoke. I'm working on the body, and this is my first time doing underarms, so
You separated for sleep.
I did. I'm doing mentioned the pattern. This is the Luella taught by Susie Sparkles. It's a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, and I'm not going to get into too much detail, but the pattern is worth every penny. I think I'll be making more of these. It's that fun. And so again, I'm working on the body. I'm going to be doing the calf sleeve version.
Tell me about your pretty progress keepers.
Oh, so my progress keepers are actually, well, this one is made by me, and I actually just got a pack of little daisy charms from Joann's. I think the company is called, I don't remember, I'll look it up. But it was actually, it's kind of funny because it was actually supposed to be for a Halloween costume. The original plan was to be dressed up as Princess Daisy from the Mario and Luigi. One of my Starbucks friends was going to be Princess Peach, but unfortunately our plans kind of fell through and we just did something else.
You were super cute Okapi though.
I was, and that was actually last Halloween was supposed to be the Princess and Mario character costumes.
Tell us about your other progress keeper.
The other progress keeper is actually one that I call her my aunt. She's really my step aunt, but my Aunt Pearl likes to make jewelry. I don't think she sells, it's more of a hobby for her, but she made this lovely little angel progress keeper. It's more of like a little charm that you would put on a charm bracelet or a handbag. I'm using it as a progress keeper, and I absolutely love it. I have a pair of earrings that she made, and let me adjust again. There we go.
And what about the bag?
And the bag, if you've seen my podcast, you've seen this one before. This is by Casey's Pockets to Go, and this is one of her medium small bags.
Looks like a shawl size.
Yeah, shawl size, or I swear this thing is going to be, this is going to be a running gag for the rest. Drinking game, how many?
Alex! Water. We don't recommend or
Stay
condone
hydrated.
drinking while knitting.
Exactly.
Don't knit under the influence.
Don't. You will regret it.
Friends don't let friends knit while intoxicated. It's heartbreaking to have to frog all of that work that you think is beautiful the next morning when it's really
A
horribly
disaster.
wrong. Horribly wrong. You want to show your next one?
Yes, ma'am. There we go.
We're
I think
fun.
We are fun. The next one, this is housed in a bag that I made myself. This was my very first, almost my first sewing project in like 10 years. You'll actually be seeing the very first one in a long time after. But this is my crochet project. I usually have, if it's not an on-the-go, there we go. Final time. Knock on wood. This is my crochet project right now, and I am showing you the wrong side. Here we go.
Wrong sides can be pretty too.
They can be, especially when the ends are woven in, which this one's not. This is the Atlanticus crochet along, and thank you.
You're welcome.
And I have definitely made some progress from the last time I posted my podcast. And the pattern is by Hooked on Sunshine. I believe that one is a paid-for pattern as well. I don't remember offhand. Yes, that was a paid-for pattern. I don't remember the price though. But again, so far worth every penny. And for me, usually I'm a monogamous knitter or crocheter, but I'll have one of each going on. That way I can switch off, and when the motion is getting too repetitive, it's kind of hard on my wrists. I can do, and and during work, I'm on the computer most of the time, which does not help anything. So having something that I can keep crafting but have a different repetitive motion is helpful. And the yarn I'm using is Karen Big Cakes, and instead of doing the whole ball, I just separate out the colors. And normally the pattern normally calls for having 10 different colors. Just getting 3 balls of the Karen Big Cakes is more economical. And the colorway is Afternoon Tea.
Ooh, how perfect.
How appropriate, since we are going to afternoon tea.
Yes.
All right, your turn, Missy.
Okay. First off, my socks are a free pattern. Actually, I take it back. They're not. I always use the vanilla extract by Vanilla Knits. I think it's $1.50 on Ravelry. And I also use the Fishlets Kiss Feel, which is the best dollar you'll ever spend. It looks intimidating because it's 19 pages. It's just a lot of information. The pattern is maybe a page, because it teaches you how to make your cardboard foot, and it teaches you why the math works like it does. This is my other sock. This one is Fleece Navidad.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
From Nomadic Yarn.
Those are very rich, saturated colors, too.
Very. So it's something I have to be careful with. I've noticed this with Nomadic Yarns. Every once in a while when they're super saturated like this, sorry, I didn't mean to give my needles.
You're good.
The reds. I stab you. Boom, boom. The reds tend to rub off on my hand.
Oh.
So you just gotta be careful. But it's
Okay.
absolutely beautiful, and this is what that sock looks like when complete.
That's lovely. And even though we're washed out right now, the colors are coming out pretty true.
Pretty true. Yeah.
Pretty true. I think this stripe is a little bit more brown than it's looking gray right now, but
Yeah.
kind of a taupe.
Yes, it's
Kind of a dark
taupey.
taupe.
It's taupey. Speaking of, that's what those cardboard foots look like. Very
Nice.
fancy. Back of a chip box.
Nice. Recycling. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Exactly. And also, before I forget, my bag is from Bags by Awesome Granny.
It's gorgeous.
My friend Darlene makes these.
Oh, and it's the nutcracker. I love the nutcracker.
It is the Nutcracker. That's the pattern up close, you guys.
Oh.
This bag holds a lot. I rave about her bags every time because I love them. It's a little baby notions pouch in the same fabric.
That's cute. And I love the candy cane lining.
Well, of course. I mean, the Nutcracker, you're in the land of sweets. You gotta have candy cane lining.
Of course.
So there it is in that too. And I love she has these huge zipper pulls.
Oh,
And so you can use those as a zipper pull, or you can use those as a bonus keeper.
nice.
I like the zipper pull though.
Mm-hmm.
And then my final project,
Oh, is this?
it is,
Oh.
this is the Michigan Avenue Wrap by Molly Klein Design. Again, a paid for pattern. Absolutely worth every penny. It is simple and mindless, but it's still fun. And this is my Slytherin theme.
Of course, because you're a proud Slytherin.
Very proud Slytherin. We get a bad rep. We're not all bad. We're just
No.
ambitious,
Resourceful.
resourceful, and sly.
Mm-hmm. And sly does not necessarily mean a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although it does get kind of a negative connotation, but sly can be good.
Sly can be good. And
And tell me about the Progress Keeper. That is adorable.
it is another Simply Serving Progress Keeper. And she had them available in the pink gradient or
it's
the
a little
blue.
It's a little unicorn. It's a little unicorn cake.
I know.
That is so precious.
I just ordered, she released a reindeer cake just like this
Oh.
for Christmas, and it's a funfetti cake background.
Oh my gosh.
progress keepers are probably one of my weaknesses. Because they're adorable.
They are adorable.
And when possible, I like to match them with my projects.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
And the color coordinates really nicely because the teal and the
I think
aqua
it
goes
goes
really well with the Slytherin coordinate. And then speaking of Hogwarts houses, I'm a proud Hufflepuff. I think Hufflepuff kind of gets a negative reputation for being the other house, the rest of them. But Hufflepuffs have great qualities too. We are loyal. I think I went on this rant on my first podcast, but it needs to be said. Hufflepuffs are loyal. They like to play by the rules, and they will bust their buns to get the job done.
And they're extraordinarily good fighters.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not a yarn snob, you guys. I'm using loops and
Me
threads
neither.
from Michael's.
And again, yarn big cakes. I'm not a yarn snob.
I enjoy working with nice yarn, but I'm also not opposed to using things that are economical. So I mean, this is Loops and Threads Joy Decay in ink, cloud, and leaf.
And those are gorgeous colors too.
Beautiful.
And, you know, and I think the thing with working with synthetics is just knowing what they do well and some of their weaknesses. For instance, if you knit lace, you can't expect to block it, but for things that are just going to be garter stitch or rib or cables, and you just need it to keep its shape, need it to go through the wash time and time again, it's a great fiber to work with.
Absolutely.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Exactly.
And nowadays, honestly, there are so many yarn or synthetics that are just so well made, soft, just so luxurious.
This isn't your grandma's red heart.
Exactly. I have some of my grandma's red heart. And even then, red heart itself has come a long way, so.
It has gotten a lot better. Is it something I want to use? Not always.
But
it has its time and its place.
Exactly. For things that you know are going to get a lot of wear, you don't really care if it's going to be a little bit on the rough side. Like maybe if you're making a pair of slippers, maybe you do the lining that your foot's going to be in, and for the insole, and then the outsole is red heart, something that you don't really care if it gets kind of scuffled around.
And people, you can soften red heart. When I was brand new to crocheting, I made my nephew Hayden, I made him this enormous pixelated Mario blanket.
Oh, I remember that one.
And it was all red heart yarn. So it was a little scratchy when I finished it, but all I had to do was stick it in my washing machine and squirt some conditioner over it. I let it sit for 2 hours and I washed it like normal.
Nice.
And it softened up immensely.
And it doesn't even have to be good conditioner. Just use the cheapest
Yeah,
stuff
you
that
buy
you
the
can
cheapest.
find.
I used Suave because it was on sale. So it was like 79 cents for the bottle. And you only used maybe a quarter of the bottle on it, and it was a huge blanket, so it can last a while.
Yeah, and something else is using Dawn dish soap for not like good wool, like you don't want to use it on your bottle of Hoya, but if you're recycling yarn, let's say you've got a woolen project that you've frogged out, Dawn dish soap is great. And honestly, I think I saw this on a ravelry thread where I was looking to see if it would be safe to use on wool, and I think someone goes, well, if they use it to save cute little baby duckling from oil spills, I think it's safe for your woolens.
Exactly. Just make sure, as any time when you're washing wool, check your water to see if it's color fast. That's the only thing you got to look out for.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I think that wraps it up for whips. since it is the holiday season,
we have presents.
we have our own little gift exchange.
We don't know what they are. We are opening them in front of you
Exactly.
the first time. Except Alex has seen one of hers because it didn't fit in the bag. I brought her advent calendar tea.
I'll show you that in a little bit because it's ready.
Do you want to do it at the same time? Or
Yep.
Okay. 1,
2,
3.
Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. And it's right here.
I know her colors.
Oh, I love it. So it's not quite finished. And look inside because you can't give just an empty bag. So this is by Forbidden Fiber Company, and look at the
It's the Weasley family tent.
our favorite Gryffindor family.
Yes. It's so soft and squishy. It is beautiful, and it is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. For those wanting to know.
You can work that into a shawl or make a pair of socks, and it's a variegated, not self-striping, so just and oh
And I have a
my.
bag.
And it's a nice large one. It's more of a project bag than a tote, but I based it on the handle so you can, or one of the handles, and then tonight I'll just put the other handle on and stitch everything up with the sewing machine. So and you can, a little bit later, you can kind of try it out, see, and it's a nice big one. This is huge. I didn't really intend for it to be this big. And just to show you the other side, because both
Gauge
sides are...
swatches are important, but when it comes to bags,
And that could probably hold at least part of a blanket, if not a whole blanket, too. Of course, and and you spoiled me rotten. So a couple more of the radia. And that's gorgeous, the flower power color. Oh, that's beautiful. This is the cinema. And then
that's just 6-ply.
6-ply.
It's color number 02787. That's how radio likes color numbers.
And I think sometimes even Cascade does the same thing.
There's one more thing though.
I just saw this. Perfect! I can't wait to see this.
We had to make sure it was safe.
Of course. Oh, Berlin! Oh, that's beautiful! I love it. Oh, and it has the wall.
I can explain everything if you'd like.
Yeah, so we'll start with
Berlin. Okay, the Berlin's mascot is the bear, die Bären, and you find them all over town. They're just statues that are painted differently of different bears. There are yellow ones. There's graffiti ones. There's it's just a parade of different painted bears. Each foundation, each store will take one and decorate them
that's
throughout the city.
cool. That's really cool. I've seen in the States, I've seen other exhibits like that where it's different animals. I think there was one with like a series of cows, which that was really cute. I think my mom has some pictures of that. And then
There's one in Lawrence, Kansas, and it's all the different Jayhawks, which is one of their university's mascot. All right, this here is the Bundestag. It is their seat of government power.
Okay.
That's where Chancellor Angela Merkel lives and works. And this is sort of, the Bundestag itself is the equivalent of our House of Representatives.
okay. Oh,
You just wanna
Debbie
make sure-
Audrey room.
Possibly.
Oh, I I haven't met her, of course, but I've seen so many.
Everyone
pictures.
loves
She's so cute.
Yeah.
And
Then we have the TV tower. This was you could see this in West Berlin, and it stands in East Berlin. And the Russians, the Soviet Union, built it so that West Berliners could see it and think, oh, how powerful. It's their TV tower. So it would show off their might and how much better the east side of Berlin is. Then we have,
the wall, of course.
everyone knows the Berlin Wall. And then this is the Brandenburg Tor, the Brandenburg Gate.
Oh.
And it was the city gate that allowed people from the city of Brandenburg, they followed this road and entered through this gate into the city of Berlin. And it is one of the few remaining standing city gates from pre-World War I.
Oh. It's beautiful. So much history. That is gorgeous.
And it has the famous statue on top of the three horses with victory on top.
Oh. Thank you so much. Ooh. Got a little crackly. Had a late night last night.
How perfect timing.
I know. All right. So with that, we will be back in a little bit with more fun. And we're going to do the coffee tasting, and we'll do that on Jess's phone because there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of setup. So,
We're gonna
with, all right. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
see how.
Hi, and we're back. Definitely a lot later than we started, but we had such a fantastic day. We'll post pictures at the end of our tea time.
And we'll post our blooper reel.
That'll be fun.
See, for you, it feels like we've only been gone for a few seconds. We've been gone all day.
All day long. I think we left the house at noon. We had intended to leave at 11, but just craziness happened. And then, of course, Linus did not want to be left alone.
Of course not.
And it's not just because he had his Auntie Jessie here, but he's been doing that a lot for us lately, the little stinker. So, and he gave us the big sad eyes.
He did. It was very hard.
It was heartbreaking. And I'm like, we're only going to be gone 6 hours at the most. We were probably only gone 5.5 hours.
Yeah. But I got some sun while we were out. You see all this red?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't hurt. I'm used to it. But I got some sun. I don't get that in Germany at this time of year. It's dark.
Oh, yeah, because you're really far north, aren't you?
Yes. And so in the summers, it's light until about 10.
Oh, I love that.
And it means that it's dark at like 2 in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
God, it's dark a lot of time. In fact, that's why when you're getting stationed there, you have to go through a physical, and everyone has to go through this to make sure that you can handle being in the dark so much because they don't have a lot of sun. So
right.
if you suffer from depression or bipolar disorder, seasonal affective disorder, a lot of times they'll disapprove you going because they know that it's not in your best interest, and they don't want you to go somewhere where you're not going to do well.
Good thinking. Very good. And also, don't you have an artificial sunlight?
Yes,
I remember you mentioned that in one of your episodes.
Yes, I have 2. I have one downstairs and one upstairs, and they do help. They're not the official sun lamps that you're supposed to use if you have depression to help, but they're enough for me personally. So I'm kind of lucky that mine isn't that bad for seasonal affective, but it's not bad at all. I'm fine with it. I just buy the nice, they're great for crafting.
Yes, that's exactly why I would like one of them, because I can't stand artificial light, even for crafting and podcasting especially. I love the natural light, but just during this time of year in San Diego, and you guys saw firsthand how today was really bad. Today was so bad for lighting. I had to keep adjusting the exposure.
It was a running joke.
So,
This sucks. Very professional, aren't we? And as you can see, I've switched to genie hair.
very cute genie hair.
Thank you.
I love it.
It was driving me absolutely bonkers in the car.
That's why I have the pixie cut. Or I guess then it's like a pixie bob. Anyway,
It's cute.
That's
We digress. Where did we
digress.
go?
so first we went to tea at the Aubrey Rose. We mentioned that before. It was phenomenal, as always. I absolutely love it there. We tried, she tried 4 different kinds of teas.
We had the Florence.
The Florence, that was delicious.
It's chocolate and hazelnut,
Mhm.
and it's a black tea. I think everything.
Yeah,
we tried was
all of our teas were black teas.
Okay. We also had Paris.
And that one's one of my personal favorites. I keep that one's constantly in stock in my pantry. I absolutely love it, and it's very similar to Earl Grey. It does have the bergamot, but it also has vanilla as well. It's lovely.
We had the Christmas blend,
And
which is Christmas in a cup, pretty much.
it really is. It has almonds and cinnamon.
And we had the Aubrey Rose House Brew blend.
And of course, that one, you can't go to any tea room and not get the signature blend.
course
That's just crazy talk.
And we also had a nice nutmeggy eggnog.
Oh, yes! So during the holiday season, and what I love about the Aubrey Rose is they do have some year-round staples as far as their food menu, and it's a prefix, so you don't really get to choose what's on the menu. But they do have some year-round things and some seasonal things. They had these wonderful, for the savories, they had these wonderful little cranberry brie, little mini bites. Tartlets.
So perfect. They were like the size of a quarter, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a quarter.
I would say we're like halfway between a nickel and a quarter.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Those were delicious.
Amazing.
And to start, before they bring the food, they had a little mini glass of eggnog, alcohol free,
Yes, it was a wonderful aperitif.
and along with that, they had little itty bitty little gingerbread
They were so
cookies.
cute.
They were really cute.
They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect amount of spice for me, because my viewers know that I'm not a fan of Lebkuchen because it's too spicy. Not hot spicy, but just
Like a
very
lot of
powerful.
spices.
Yes. And so this is the perfect spice level for me.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely a good spice level, and my favorite thing was the texture, because it was not hard, but not like cakey. It was just chewy enough.
It was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Hold up, wait a minute, put some more yarn in it. We are back.
In different clothes.
We are, because it is a week later and we're not done with the crafty stuff.
We figured it's only fair to share our stash acquisition because this is what people love, right?
At least I do. If you don't, just skip it. We won't be offended.
Yeah. There are times when I know I'm having to be good, I skip over stash acquisition just because I don't want to find something and have to wait, or I don't know. And we have tea sitting over there.
We do. Excuse me a minute. And we are back with tea.
Hooray!
Because we just can't get enough tea. Is it a knitter thing with tea?
It kind of is. Most knitters drink tea. There are a few rare exceptions.
I drink a lot of coffee though, too. I mean, not a ton, but I also really thoroughly enjoy coffee. And just in case anybody is curious, we are enjoying Harney and Sons Paris tea, which is like an Earl Grey. And we mentioned that earlier in the show when we had our tea time.
Speaking of, do you want to grab your fun acquisition that's not yarny related but is tea related?
Yes, I would. So I got this for myself yesterday. This is a book called Tea is Always a Good Idea, which truer words are seldom spoken.
This is very true.
And what it is, we're having way too much fun.
Kind of professionalism. Doesn't matter what day it is and how tired we are.
Exactly.
Kind of professionalism.
So anyway, this is a book on, or if it's a reference. It has different tea cultural things around the world, including a segment on British tea time, the origins of tea, and it also has a log of different kinds of tea, different herbs used in tea, and even a tasting reference guide. And the illustrations are beautiful. Let's see, does it have a credit for the illustrations? Because those are gorgeous. That's Stacy H. Kim, designer and illustrator. Beautiful
Good job.
work. Absolutely gorgeous. But my two favorite pages are on English tea etiquette and afternoon tea. And ever since I learned this has been kind of a pet peeve, is when people refer to afternoon tea as high tea, because they're very, very different things. So afternoon tea is also called cream tea, and it's an upper class English occasion. It began in the mid-19th century. I mentioned before, at least I think, that it was a tradition started by Lady Anne, Duchess of Bedford. And traditionally it's basically a snack time in between lunch and dinner. And high tea is kind of the working class version, and this actually began as a replacement for dinner time. And they would have hot, savory foods, meats, soups and stews, and then that was followed by cakes and sweets. So they do have their similarities and their differences, and they both have their place in British tea culture. So I thought that was a fun fact, but got to show it off again.
Who wrote the book?
So the book was written by the editor is Elizabeth T. Gilbert.
Okay.
Doesn't have any one particular author.
Okay. That way it's just something else for people to look for if they want to buy the book themselves.
And also, if you wanted to, you can screenshot the cover.
Do we want to hold it up for them really close so you can get a good look?
Yes.
Get your picture now, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because tea is always a good idea.
Always.
All right. Where do you want to go from here?
We have some yarny stuff.
We do. We have quite a few acquisitions.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you care to start?
I would. First off, you guys, it is officially after Christmas.
It is.
And so, therefore, I had Christmas money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
It's also being used to renew my Craftsy subscription. That's an important acquisition.
That is.
I like good references. Not just, pattern books are nice,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you just need a good place to go for a reference, and that's why I love Craftsy.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And you can't always take a book along with you as much as nice as that would be if we could.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just not feasible.
yeah, and I mean, my subscription is good for 1 year, and I have access to every single class they offer. Be it
Nice.
baking, knitting, sewing,
Mm.
crochet, there's fitness videos,
That
there's
is
yoga,
awesome.
baking, there's so many things on
Not
there.
just crafts.
Not just crafts, because Craftsy joined with Blueprint.
Ah.
And for those that don't know, Blueprint is spelled Bluprint.
Okay.
I went looking online for the new app to download, and I kept adding the E in Blueprint. It comes up with something very different.
Mm.
You don't want to do that. My eyes were kind of scarred.
Oh no!
So,
Brain bleach.
heads
Where's
up.
Here's the brain bleach.
Heads up.
Oh.
No E in Blueprint.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah. And they also, I mean, the nice thing is you can also just buy a single class if you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had purchased a few before they offered a subscription service. And I still have access to those classes even if I do decide to not subscribe. Because I purchased them beforehand. And I can purchase some now and they're good for forever.
Oh, that's cool.
And what I also love is that you can ask questions in these classes.
Oh, nice.
And the instructor of the class gets back to you in a relatively quick manner.
That is awesome.
And it's posted for everybody to see, so you don't have to worry about if she's answered something 20 times, you can find it in there.
Nice.
And so it's really nice. And having the subscription, I actually just got an email 3 days ago,
Mhm.
and it says, here, pick 3 classes for you to own permanently on us.
Oh, nice.
And normally a class is $40. But they do offer sales all the time. So I've never paid more than $20 for a class.
That's really cool. I like that.
I like it too. With that said,
And do you have more tea?
I would love more tea. With that said, that's an acquisition, but you can look at Craftsy on your own. We're here to show yarny acquisitions
We are.
and notions.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, we went to Yarning for You in San Marcos today.
Sure did.
And so if anyone is
And-
wondering,
Kind of my home base for yarn.
yes. And they do ship and they have a website. They're fantastic.
Mhm.
I get their newsletter all the time.
And they do have lines of yarn that they used to carry in store, but they had to make room for new lines. So, for instance, for Ba yarns, they had to make room for other wonderful indie dyers that need to be spotlighted as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now they sell Ba online. So if you needed to, you can still order it.
And they're fantastic about shipping, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
When I lived in South Carolina, they were great about emailing me back and forth because that was when the Find Your Fade came out. And I was like, I want to order and I want to do hedgehog fibers from you guys. And she's like, okay, well, what color palette are you thinking of? And I told her I wanted more jewel tones with blues and purples and pretty squishiness.
Mm-hmm.
And she made like 3 or 4 different colorway options for me. took pictures of them all and said, which one do you like? This one costs this
Oh.
much. This one costs this much.
That's awesome.
It was great. And so, great customer service there, you guys.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
And also, a little side note, when I used to work at Starbucks, one of the co-owners, so it's a mother-daughter team, one of the co-owners would pop into my store on occasion. So it was always nice to see her, and she would kind of give me some of the inside scoop on what new yarns were coming.
Bristol Ivy is going to be there.
I know, and I don't even think I'll be able to make it because I work. I know, very sad. But at least my job is a fun job, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, it is a wonderful store. I love it. I get their emails all the time, and I look through constantly. They have Licca needles. They have a lot of things, you guys. It's a special store.
Oh, they also have the Flexi Flips. What are
They're called the Crazy Trios in Germany.
Okay.
And they're done by Addy.
Mhm.
And so it's for those that like to use magic loop or double point. It's a little faster than either of those options.
Mhm.
And some people use two circulars for socks, and it's supposed to be fun. I haven't tried it yet. I'm not a DPN person.
I learned how to do DPN, so I'm not really that opposed to it, but also the fact that there are so many, sometimes you need a lot of DPNs for a project depending on what you're working on. Usually the most I've encountered were patterns that require dividing evenly on 4 needles and then using a 5th as the working needle. However, that's a little much for me, so I actually bought a set last, I believe it was last Christmas. Their size 2 US, if anyone's curious. My brain is not working with the metric conversion on that one. However,
Off the top of my head either. I'm a bad person for living in Europe and not knowing the metric conversion. I use US for everything.
it's force of habit, honestly.
Yeah, it's what you're familiar with for the most part. Because someone can say, I'm using a 2.75 millimeter needle, and I'm like, that's great. What's that mean?
I want to say that size, I can't remember if that's size 2 or 3.
I can't remember. But
I know it's one of those.
Yeah, you get the idea of what we're saying. So, they're wonderful. I have used DPNs before, but not my cup of tea. Alright, for real now.
For reals, we'll get into
13 minutes later, let me take a sip of tea.
Told you this was going to be a long episode. But then again, there are 2 of us, so there you go.
Banter is fun.
It is.
Alright, so first things first. This was the first thing I picked up in the store.
It's beautiful. I'd say that's pretty true to color, wouldn't you?
Very true to color. There's a little more tonality that's harder to see in here, but it's very tonal and subtle, but it's just so beautiful.
Beautiful, rich, and the colorway is called Hidden Gemstones.
Hidden Gemstones, and it is by Forbidden Woolery.
I think now they're called Forbidden Fiber Company,
Yes.
but that's their old logo.
And you've seen the new logo because it's on my yarn from Alex for Christmas. My Weasley family.
I know, I saw that hanging up there. I was debating if I should purchase it for myself, but at this point I don't really know what I would make with it other than a shawl, and I've already got a lot of shawls on my list of things to make, so well, I'll hold off for the time being. Then again, who knows how long it's gonna last, but
For now.
if it's meant to be, it'll
be there. Yeah.
If it's not, then it won't.
Yes.
And then, to go with that, you got...
To go with this, I got Twisted Owl Fiber Studio. This is just an 80/20 sock, as is the other one. It's called the Gluttony sock line. This is just 2-ply sock, 80/20, and this is in the charcoal colorway.
It's really pretty. It's coming out a little blue on the computer screen, at least on our end. But
It's really not.
It's very
all gray.
It is gray. It's more of like a neutral cloud gray,
And
like kind of a stormy gray.
stormy, yeah. And I saw this line in the store, and I didn't have any in my hand yet. And I said, Alex, how can I walk out of the store without having twisted owl yarn when I
know
love owls
you are
so
the owl
much?
person.
So I got some twisted owl, you guys. It
And-
makes some squish, squish.
And I always think of her because we're her grandparents are my neighbors. And lately, while she's been with us, the barn owl, or not the barn owls, I've seen barn owls too, and but the great horned owls have been out and perching on the roof and on the chimney, and it's so awesome because you can hear the woo-hoo, woo-hoo, and it just radiates throughout the house. It's so cool. But I got so excited when they started going.
It's been happening at our house too lately, and it drives Sugar insane.
Oh, I'll bet. It used to drive Linus up the wall, but now not anymore.
And oh goodness, that owl was out there last night, and
They're huge.
enormous. And it was Sugar wanted to go outside and try to catch it. She thinks,
Oh, no. Oh, Sugar, no, don't do that.
no. But she wouldn't stop whining, so we let her outside. We're with her. We carry a flashlight. We're nearby, so the owl can't steal her or claw her.
Mm-hmm.
So, because she's a small dog. She's just a little baby.
She's tiny.
So,
She's adorable.
she's so cute.
And she's still a puppy. She's still learning her manners, but they're coming along so well.
If you guys want to see what she looks like, you can go to my Instagram page. And she's on there. 'Cause she's so cute.
She is really cute.
And but we took her out, and she raced up the bank in the back.
Oh, gosh.
And she's just barking her head off for like 5 minutes.
Oh, no.
Determined to make sure.
She's like, I will get this owl. Gosh darn it.
How dare this owl come into my yard?
Mm-hmm.
Is mine.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a big hawk on the fence the other day, and she decided to have some words with him too.
Oh, dear.
She has words with anything that falls in her yard.
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel, hawk,
She's
owl,
a little terrier mix, so that...
leaf. Doesn't matter.
Those leaves, man.
They're
They're
out
in
to
trouble.
get ya. Out to get you and steal your yard.
Mm-hmm.
Show us one of the things that you got.
Gladly. So one of my favorite things to get, or at least to look out for, are the Candy Skein limited edition colorways. And I think on my first podcast, and maybe earlier in this one, I showed you one that I acquired, and I'll show you again in a little bit. But I fell head over heels in love with their new eggnog colorway. This is a limited edition for December, and it's a little washed out on the screens. Let me see if
Get a little more trim.
but for reference, it ranges from off-white to
Nice
gold, butter, like a buttery
a melted
yellow.
butter kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's sunshine daisies, butter mellow.
Turn the stupid fat rat yellow. That is sad that we memorized that. And then it also has flecks of kind of a cherry pink, and kind of ranges from pale pink to dark cherry red, and has little flecks of kind of reddish brown.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit
Beautiful
of green.
speckles.
Gorgeous speckles. And
Not overpowering.
mhm. And what I love about the limited editions is they also come with a little progress keeper Not sure if it'll come in.
because it's so small, but
It's tiny
they're
and this
detailed.
doesn't really want to come in focus. But it's a little glass of eggnog, a little cup of eggnog.
And the nice thing is that typically, if you're ever able to find one of these stitch markers, they're the same colors that are in the yarn are in your stitch marker.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you ever see one of these eggnog stitch markers online, you know that those are the colors that are in this yarn.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it color coordinates, and it's the shape of the treat that the yarn is named after, which is really cute.
I would have totally bought a skein, but yellow makes me look yellow.
Mm.
And I have enough yellow.
I
Thanks
hate when
very
that
much.
happens.
So I can't wear gold either. Not that often. Show me your next skein.
The other one I got is this beautiful, it's kind of I would call it taupe. Again, it's not coming out right now. Came out really well with your blues. Your blues came out really
Well,
nicely.
it's harder since it's a neutral, I think.
Yeah, since it's a neutral, it's not really coming out, but the colorway is called Linen. And this is by Lichen and Lace. To kind of give a better color descriptor.
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 It's
New word.
descriptor.
So to give a better description of the color, it's kind of a taupey, so it has a little bit of like a purpley tan. Yeah, purpley tan, yeah. And I got it to go along with another candy skein, and you guys saw this on one of my other episodes. And this is the Lavender Latte colorway, and we'll post better pictures. I'll show one of them because I am obscuring Jessie's face. We don't want that. It's a beautiful face.
You can obscure it all you want, but yes, it is beautiful.
And it's kind of coming out blue, but it has those beautiful purple, brown, and that same kind of taupe. And I was a little nervous about buying this without seeing the yarn in the store, or at least without bringing my own skein, because I was like, "Ugh, what if it's the wrong color?" But I figured it's so beautiful, I wouldn't be disappointed if it's not a match. I would find something else in my stash to pair it with.
I'm going to need to get some of that Lichen and Lace soon from their online shop, because I've been wanting to try Lichen and Lace for so long.
It's beautiful, and
I love that they hand stitched the ball.
I know, it's gorgeous. Look at that detail.
It's only
See,
small.
that is why we love our indie dyers. They take such attention to they pay such attention to detail, and you see the love in every detail. And just so you guys know what the fiber content is, it's their 80-20 sock, so it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, which is about the same fiber content as the candy skein. It's a little bit different. Candy skein is 75-25 merino and nylon, respectively. And then,
Which one should I show next? Okay. I'm very excited about this, you guys. I was sitting and debating over these shawl kits in the store. I had 4 that I loved. One was my typical color palette of jewel tones, especially the blues. And then there was some that were more pastel-y. And then there was one that was white, black, red, and green. So kind of holiday-ish. But my aunt came with us.
oh,
And
Aunt
she
Tracy.
saw this. I am so
And
grateful Tracy found this.
Oh yeah, because it was hidden way in the back of the back of that hook.
How beautiful are these colors? The Round Mountain Fiber in her Ornithology collection. And it's Birds of a Feather number 8. And this is a shawl kit for the Divisionism shawl, which is by Jennifer See, this is where my German is going to come in handy. Jennifer Kirchenbauer is how I would say it if she's German. If she's not, and I just, or if they anglicize the pronunciation, I'm sorry. But that's what I see, that's what I read.
And for me, the anglicized pronunciation would be Kirchenbauer. And even then, I like to be a little bit more authentic. But if the designer's watching and you want to type in your pronunciation in the description,
let us know
Go
in
right
the
ahead.
comments below. And this is 100% superwash. It's dyed in Vermont, and the yarn is spun in the U.S. So there's 800 yards in this. I'm not going to show you the price.
but if you want, but I can use my long arms to show off those gorgeous colors. And again, we'll post pictures. Maybe we can.
This is not my typical color palette, you guys. I am so excited to try something a little bit new. And just outside of my comfort zone. That's the beauty of wearing neutrals.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can wear it with anything. I do love the green though.
The green is beautiful. Here we go. Now I'll cover up the price.
Because we don't shame on our show.
Exactly. Just keep it anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Did you think that's pretty true to color?
It's pretty true to color, and I think the price for what I'm getting is fantastic. I'm going to give you the color names too. So this one over here is Anna's Hummingbird.
Oh,
This one is
I've got stories about that.
Finch Blush. And this is a solid color, you guys.
That's
These
really
two in the middle are solids, and these two are variegated. Finch Blush. This is Bunting Brown.
Mm.
And House Finch, which is like I kind of think of it as like a dark palette rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
It's the darker versions of the colors you find in the rainbow.
So it's kind of a burgundy, kind of coppery orange,
It's got a grayish blue.
and then it has that kind of watermelon-y pink and charcoal gray.
It's just beautiful. And all of her colors are inspired by nature.
Mm-hmm.
So she has the Ornithology colorway now. And
she also has an entomology collection. I'm not sure if I saw any in the shawl kits, but they have a beautiful Luna moth colorway.
And they're coming out with a new collection too.
Oh, really?
I think it's aqua something. It starts with an A. It might be astronomical. Look forward to it, whatever it is. It'll be in 2019, so we have a little bit of time before it comes out. Okay. Do you want to share one more?
Yeah. So for yarn, I got these two by Yoff Yarns, and it's kind of a buttery yellowish off-white. So it's a very, very pale yellow. And they call the colorway banana. Well, then again, if you like peel the banana,
yeah, that is actually
that is very
good-
accurate.
Very accurate.
So if you peel the banana, this is not the color of the peel. If you peel the banana, this is what the fruit itself, it's the color of the fruit itself.
Just make sure, Alex, that you don't use that.
Yeah, this fiber supplement is to not be taken internally.
But we do approve of a high fiber diet.
We do. Just make sure you're applying it correctly.
Don't eat this. That would make everybody very sad. That's yarn abuse.
But I ended up, so this is Yoff Yarns in their little brother line. It's a fingering weight.
I just saw that too.
I
at the
know.
same time.
So it's 80, 10, 10. So 80 superwash merino, 10 cashmere, and 10 nylon. And I actually got this to go with a gradient set by Forbidden Fiber Company. And this was their most recent launch at the time, their Boss Babe collection.
Love it.
And I'd say it's pretty true to color.
Pretty much.
It's a little
This
dark.
one's a little darker, but this one too.
Yeah. So in real life they're a little bit lighter. But here it is, where you can see the whole thing, and please pardon the crinkling. I apologize. But I got it to go with that set because while I do like the colors as they can run together, but I really envisioned using that as, working in colorway, or doing color work. There we go, that's the right phrasing. Doing color work for a yoke for a sweater.
It'd be absolutely gorgeous.
I know, I'm really excited, and I'll kind of have to see whether I like the gradient going down, so the darker colors closer to my neckline, and then the lighter colors going down.
How long was great since it's so beautiful.
It is really pretty. Unfortunately, I didn't see any more. It was kind of a limited edition. Well, the gradients were kind of a limited edition, but she has beautiful variegated versions in the Boss Babe line. So they have like Computer Boss, Engineering Boss, that kind of thing. Kind of girl power.
We like girl power.
Which we are definitely all for girl power.
The next thing is I knit my mother some Christmas socks. They are finished in time. They were the Yarn Jar old-timey Christmas colors. They were still on the needles earlier in this episode or before. Somewhere in this episode, they are on the needles.
I think so. Yeah, I think. Let's see. I think you were maybe working on the foot. I'm not sure if you cast on. If you did the heel yet.
I had just finished the heel.
You just finished the heel. Okay.
And, well, my Aunt Tracy saw these socks and she fell in love. So, we took her to the yarn shop today and she picked out her own skein of yarn. And it's Regia, and their design line, Fadig, 4-ply line. And this is an Arnie and Carlos colorway. So it's going to be so much fun. It's called, they actually took the time to put the name of the color.
Wow.
It is Winter Night, and it's color 03658.
Super cute.
Yes, I love it. She was not prepared for what yarn costs in yarn stores, you guys.
I will admit it is a bit of a shock.
That first time.
At first, but
Yes.
when you realize that you're, a lot of these yarns are either indie dyers or they're imported from somewhere, and that was imported from Germany.
It breaks my heart that she bought Regia since I can buy it at my house so much cheaper. But it makes her happy, and she can have these done before I leave. So that's always nice.
Good thing I'm not knitting them. Otherwise, it would be a long time.
The other thing.
Yes. So
It's going to totally blow out.
It looks like it has that glorious kind of halo to it. So perfect. That's when the blowing out, washing out thing works to your advantage.
This is Yarn V in the Showstopper in the ivory colorway. It is roving, you guys, with a drop spindle attached.
I made the spindle, and while I was at Hobby Lobby, I just bought everything. Originally I was thinking that I would just spin something for myself, dye it myself, and have it kind of all me made. But I'm sending it home with this lovely lady.
That's me.
Because I wanted to give her a spinning lesson. I figured, since she had some trouble with with trying to learn on the wheel, it was
Whose
just
name
kind
is
of
Juggy.
Juggy, yes. She wasn't. We're still trying to learn how Juggy works, how Juggy operates.
Because I have a directional issue. I'm a lefty. Things happen for me backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to figure out if that's an issue or if you're doing something wrong. And that can be hard sometimes.
So right now we're working on the drop spindle. We're doing park and draft. So that's when you pull the fibers to the thickness that you want it. You spin it up, and if you get enough twist. What I do for park and draft is I draft out a little bit, make it nice and twisty so it all just kind of crunches up on itself, and then park the spindle in between my knees. I'm
Like
sitting
a car.
Park it like you park a car, and you kind of finish drafting out the fibers until they all have the amount of twist that you want.
Look at this.
So right now we're getting we're trying to get that down pat, and then we will and then once she's gotten that, we'll try the wheel again. We'll give Juggy a chance.
Yes. And Juggy is a mahogany Kromsky Sonata, for those that want to know. And I also just ordered an electric eel 2 Nano, which is an e-spinner that'll fit in the palm of your hand.
Nice.
So you don't have to treadle while you use him.
That is awesome. So let me know how that works. I might end up ordering one for myself.
Well, the thing is, it was a Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
And they are making more. I just pre-ordered. And so I have to wait until July to get it. But my colors are going to be custom. I'm getting a gray spinner. Because gray goes with everything. I swear.
It does.
That's my other
It really
catchphrase.
does.
I have my catchphrase at the end of my episode of Do a Make Sure Art Sing for me that's 2 sticks and string. This is my other catchphrase. Gray goes with everything. And so I have a gray spinner. And the package I got on Kickstarter comes with 7 bobbins.
Oh, nice.
And so I want to ask him, because you're allowed to pick your bobbins. I don't know if you can do multiple colors, but I want to get 3 teal and 3 purple.
Ooh.
And then if he can just do 2, then I'll just pick one of the colors for the other bobbin. But if you can, I'd like 1 white bobbin too.
Nice.
So
Very stylish.
very. I'm like Aunt Claire.
Mm-hmm. My Aunt Cindy's very stylish too. All
of
of
your
my
aunts
all
are
of my
stylish.
aunts. I grew up in a good family.
She did.
As far as wonderful people go. So I'm very grateful.
I would say it's a tight-knit family. Which is also
And-
the name of a song from Falsettos, the musical. BTW.
Nice. I'll have to look that one up. Kind of side note, my Aunt Cindy, she's my godmother, my dad's eldest sister. She actually got me a Kate Spade backpack. I am very spoiled. She spoils me rotten. So, but anyway, I digress. So, I don't want to point out one family member more than another. So,
Of course. There you go. Show off your next thing.
so my next thing, here it is. My next thing is a set or a box of beads. These are by Miyuki. At least it's spelled Miyuki. And these are glass beads, and at 30 grams. I'm not really good at reading. I'm not sure what to look for in beads other than, does this look like it could fit my yarn?
I think it says the color on there.
I think the color is called Frost Root Beer. And I know this is not going to do it justice, nor will a regular picture. Maybe it will.
Maybe,
But-
but they are stunning.
They're
Yes.
gorgeous. So they have kind of a very dark cast, but they're kind of multicolored too. So I think a good way to compare it is if you've heard of something called Reiku pottery. It's kind of looks like that as far as the colors go. But I got it to match. Oh yeah, I still think these are going to be gorgeous. I got it to go with this beauty. This was from a long time ago. I purchased at Yearning for You, but I don't think they carry Invictus anymore. They might on their website, but I don't remember. But this colorway is called Reflect, and it's 80/20 superwash merino and silk. And the shawl that I have planned for this is I believe it's called Broadway Nights. I know Broadway is in the name. And that one does have beadwork. And from kind of trial and error, I've kind of learned that beadwork shouldn't really be skipped, at least not on shawls, because it does add a lot of weight. It really helps to show off the lace work, and it provides that drape that it would otherwise need. So, and texture, sparkle if you're not using a sparkly yarn already.
And I like another way of describing these beads. It's sort of like iridescent, but
it is
dark.
kind of, yeah, dark, iridescent. The tone kind of changes depending on the way the light reflects. They're beautiful. Again, if I can get a good photo, we'll post it at the end.
I only have one more thing to show you guys. I have wanted one of these for forever and ever and ever. I put them in my cart on Etsy, and they sit there, and I take them out right before I check out, because it seems like something frivolous, especially when you don't know if it's going to fit you. But,
Or if you don't know how well it's going to work in general.
yeah, and you don't want to buy it from just anybody, because you want to make sure it's good quality. So I got a wrist ruler.
Super cute.
And this is from I Love Handles. For those who don't know, a wrist ruler, pretty self-explanatory. They're made out of leather or suede.
You might be able to find it in man-made materials too.
Probably. And what it is it's an
Just throwing that
actual
out there for any potential
ruler.
vegans.
Yes. It's a dark colorway, so you guys aren't going to see. Oh, you can kind of see in the light over here the
Yeah, I
notches.
can make it out.
Yeah. It's pretty much self-explanatory. It's a bracelet, you guys. You put it
If you
on.
would-
You wrap. And you kind of find. There you go.
And it's super cute too, because the markings seem to be dark enough to where you can. It's functional, but you can wear it without people being like, "Why are you wearing a ruler?"
Exactly. And I really appreciate that, because it's functional and usable, and it's still semi-stylish, I think. Since it's new, it's going to leave some fuzzy.
Some staining.
Some staining, a little bit, and just like little fuzzies from where it's cut. But I like it because I travel a lot. If you guys watch my podcast, you've figured this out. I tend to go places on holiday weekends, 4-day weekends, and I'm in a bus. And a little bit, yes, please. And sometimes in your hurry, you forget to pack your tape measure. So you can see that it's got some color staining on my fingertips right now. But it's minor, not a big deal. And so this, I can just take it off, whip it out, and measure. Which
Nice.
is an important thing for my DVD sock along, because you're required to have at least 3 inches from your leg and your cuff.
Ah, interesting.
Yes, so now I can always double check on the go. I don't have to worry.
And is it at least 3 inches?
At least 3.
Okay.
You can do more if you want to do more.
Okay, just wanted to double check.
Otherwise, for me, that would end up being a shorty sock.
Yeah. I appreciate shorties, but when you're making them, you need to have them long.
And sometimes, if it's a variegated yarn, I don't mind having them shorties. But stripes, I like to show the stripes. I like to have at least one full color repeat.
Or unless you're wearing, you're going to be wearing a shoe that, shows off the colors. But then again, if you're wearing a shorty, the whole point is for it to not be seen. But anyway,
we digress.
That's my 2 cents.
Super excited about this, you guys. And it looks like they have a website. Let me see here. It's covered under the price tag. I mean, you can get this on Yarning for You, but
if you want to speed that up, I can put the teapot on.
It's fine. It's
okay.
ilovehandles.com. So you can find it there, and it is called a wrist ruler. Mine is the color dark, super descriptive. It's a 17-inch wrist ruler, and it does metric and imperial measurements on it, and they do come in other colors. They also have a brioche stitch wrist bracelet.
Oh, that's cool. Describe that one.
It's just got the symbols for the stitches on it, I think. I don't know how to brioche knit, so I'm not 100%
I don't either, but
positive.
that is one of the things that I want to learn how to do.
That's one of my goals for the year. And so you have the brioche, you have the ruler, and they come in pink, teal, gray, blue, red, dark, not black, dark. And they might even have more colors. That's just what our store had. So, and it comes in a handy tin. Some people aren't always about, they like to just keep it in a knit bag. That's fine. But it's nice for traveling. And it's all put away. It doesn't, and I like it because if this was just in my bag with my yarn, I could have ended up with nubs from the suede on it, or some of the color because it came off a little bit on my fingers, which wearing it over time will stop that. But so it's protective for your yarn and for your bracelet, so nothing happens. Well worth it.
Sure is.
Okay.
Well, it was great being here. I know that was a lot for one episode, but can't say we didn't warn you.
We're like a full-length movie this time.
It is. It really is. But that just means double the fun.
Double the trouble.
And just to make sure we've covered all our bases, I don't have anything to announce, but did you have anything?
Keep an eye out for my next episode. I will be flying back to Germany on January 1st. I land on January 2nd.
Oh.
Give me a few days to recoup, and I will be going over. I bought a planner.
Oh, that reminds me. I
like
got a planner too. I will be showing that off on my blog. I've got a lot of catching up to do on my blog, but anyway, because that is more of a personal thing, I'd rather show that off on the blog. I feel a little bit safer there than on YouTube, but it is a cool thing. I really, really like it.
Mine's just for knitting, and I'm going to go over how I'm going to organize my year. I'll probably go over all of my coming cows that I have plans for the year too. So just keep an eye out for the episode. It's not going to be a episode where I go over projects and things. It's just going to be a breakdown of how I do this planner and what I plan for the coming year.
Nice.
So keep an eye out.
All right, that's all we've got as far as the two of us talking. We will have photos and videos at the end of the episode, so don't miss that. And we'll compile show notes, and in a separate video we'll have some bloopers, so stay tuned for that.
Oh boy,
because that was fun. You get to see how professional
we are. So professional. You're not ready for this.
I don't think you are either.
But, I would say let's do our catchphrase, but we already have that at the end of the episode. This is just a segment.
This is just a segment, but what the heck? Might as well.
Might as well. It's a different day.
It is a different day. It does need to be said.
All right.
Do what makes your heart sing for us. That's two sticks and string.
See ya.
Bye.
We had a little bit of a failure, but it's not really a failure.
Well, we wanted to give this little introduction before we get started.
Do what makes your heart sing.
For me and
me.
this will be part of the bloopers.
Bloopers, yeah. Do you want to say it together?
Yes, please.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks. Hey, Linus, come here. Oh, actually, before you let him out.
Whoa. He says, excuse me.
He says, nope.
Not today.
I was gonna nail them for you guys. That didn't happen.
We tried.
We tried. No. Or.
As he walks away.
Yep, as he walks away, of course.
It's okay.
Here we go. This will be cut out.
Oh, it's so funny though.
We'll have a blooper section. Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. You'll see what happened in the blooper section, and I'm just going to adjust the lighting up because it is not.
So we're washed out again. My hair disappears.
There we go. Maybe
That work?
that works.
This is not church. This is the Church of Yarn. The scripture.
And even then, I'm Catholic, so saying that saying the Church of Yarn kind of makes me cringe.
Yeah.
Anyway,